What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today some advanced back attacks, as the thumbnail says. It's not going to be about running chokes, more so about grip fighting. We have a full video dedicated on the straitjacket system. I'm going to start off with that. I'm going to go through it pretty fast. If you want more details on the straitjacket system, check out the full video on the straitjacket. So in back control, this position where I'm explaining we're seated upright, unless we're starting EBI overtime, this rarely happens. So we're going to have two sides. We're going to have underhook side and choking side. So the top arm, bottom arm. First off, we're going to fall to the underhook side. I really like to AB my hips out a bit. Having two hooks in, especially in no-gi, if it scores points, it's a good position. But if there are no points, if it's sub only, if it's MMA, I rarely use two hooks. I rather control the hip, have the dexterity of my leg free, or take a body triangle. That's all what you prefer. But for me, I really like to AB out so my hips aren't stuck in the middle, because now my foot will never reach the far side hip. So as I fall and take the angle, I always hip out so this foot can reach the far side hip, and I step on the hip or control here. My legs are long enough to close a body triangle, which I also really like, but now I need my leg to be free. I'm gonna fight the grips. Once again, if you wanna see the straitjacket video, check out the full video on the channel. But just real quick, I'm gonna strip the grips, control his hands like this, trap his arm here. I like to flex my foot first. Now I used to hide it behind the back, but that's not really controlling his hip and it's only doing one job. So what I prefer to do is put it on the hip and then lock my ankles like so that it's really trapped. Yeah, this is too open. Now we can pull the arm out. So I go bottom leg first, yeah, cross here. And now I put pressure on the hip as I control the arm, go for 2-on-1, cross, pinky side, start working my short choke, whatever. Then we have the choke side. On the choking side, so my grips are gonna be the same. Now we're on the choking side. On the choking side, the good thing is he's usually not worried about this grip getting into a straitjacket because there's no space. So it's easy for me to rear set it up and control the grips. Once I get them, I will switch to the far side hip, use my right knee as a wedge to flip him over without giving space. So you see my knee touching my heel, so there's no space to escape. Let's turn to the camera. So I wedge, but I keep pressure here. I don't leave this leg here because he will escape. And then from there I set up that same straitjacket. If he really moves back or outwards, I love catching rear triangles and attack from here. So that's a short version of my introduction into grip fighting, but there's a whole dedicated video on that. Today I'm going to show you something completely new. But this introduction is necessary because it will flow with what we're doing today. So just for the purpose of explanation, we're going to sit up upright so you can see what's happening. No, let's just do it like this, sorry. Instead of going for the arms for the straitjacket, and this is where it flows better, let's go a little bit down. Instead of going for the straitjacket, especially if I'm working my chokes and he's flaring this arm up to keep the choke away, like this. I'm going to control the arm and pass it over my leg. Now you can do it from a seat belt, or it's easier to reach with double unders, yeah? From the double unders, we're grip fighting anyway, and then it's easy for me to look for 2-on-1 control for the arm, to move it up and out of the way. I'm going to move the arm and trap it beneath my leg and extract this head here. In grip fighting sequence, so when I'm working for grips and choking, he's already moving that arm pretty high up here. And then I'm just moving it over, trapping it here. So the main goal for me, just slow it down a little bit, is instead of moving my leg over his arm, I'm going to take his arm over my leg. Now nobody will voluntarily let me move their arm out of the way. So once again, that's why I did the introduction. It's about grip fighting, looking for the straitjacket, maybe for the strangle, yeah? And then when he starts to defend, I'm trapping it over and under. Now I'm controlling at where the hand starts leaving the wrist. So I have kind of like a wedge to control here. I don't like gripping too high, especially if they have shorter arms, or on the fingers because I will slip here. And I'm curling my leg in. This is not a very tight control. If he really works, he can try get that hand out. But it's pretty stuck. But we're not there yet. So this just needs some time. If you really fear them losing the position, you can either insert the second hand. If you had the underhook still, it's maybe better, but you're stuck yourself. And if you really feel them pulling, because the arm goes out that way, you could also just hug their elbow and control your shin. That's a very nice detail. If you feel them, so slowly pull your arm out, making this, he's going this direction, you see? His tricep is pulling, his back is pulling, is going that way. All that's holding it is this and the curl of my leg. Go pull, 1, 2, 3. It's very stuck, I promise you guys, which gives me space for this. But if you just fear them losing and you want to re-grip a little bit, cup his elbow and tricep, catch your own shin and just push this in and down. So if he now tries to lift that elbow up, now I let go of this. I can just kind of readjust a little bit. Sure, so far for that. Now I need to switch sides. I'm going to switch sides by switching my feet and using my knee as a wedge. And I usually do this when they start bringing their shoulders and moving. The more he moves, I'm going to use that momentum. To aid myself with the upper body, I catch his shoulder, yeah? I'm always trying to look for chokes here. I catch his shoulders, tricep, and just keep his keep this chest to back connection. From here, I switch my hips and wedge him all the way over to this side. Now we lost angle, so we're just gonna turn, but that's where I flip over. Yeah, now you can see. So I flipped him over. Now this leg goes on top, and I close body triangle. Now his arm is trapped. Now the move he made to go out is stuck on the mat. Yeah, before someone noticed in the comments, this was inspired by Mikey Musumeci. Yeah, I just modified some the grips for this, so check it out if you want to do a deep dive. Straight jacket system, and Mikey Musumeci. From here, I lock this body triangle. Now the arm is really stuck, which gives me a 2-on-1 on this arm. And then I'm gonna extend this one away and start looking for my strangle here. I'm gonna mess up the audio, but I really like to cup his shoulder, put my chin underneath. That's gonna mess up the audio, and then either sink in for the choke or finish the short choke there. Think that's it. If you just want to see it again, I want to keep this video short, just rewind. Some minor details, I think that's really cool. His cupping. Maybe one thing I can show is what if he does manage to keep his arm away in the initial setup. So here, I'm trapping. Now as I'm here, he's trying to pull it out. He wants it out that way. If he puts it further in this way, I'm happy to. Yeah? If he pulls it out that way, I usually let him slide and just trap over, and I'm back to doing what I initially wanted. And if I'm too slow for that, so if he really manages to pull it out, we're just back in back control. So the risk is pretty low. Once I start trapping this arm and he kind of pulls it out now, okay, cool, now we're back. We can do it again, we can do the whole grip sequence. Even better so, turn a bit towards the camera. Even better so, if I'm here and he's really trying to pull that arm out, it goes away, maybe I'll just sink in a choke, yeah? So I always want you to keep chasing the choke, keep chasing that back attack, keep working that hip. I really like working the hip control here, yeah? And more he defends the chokes or the straight jacket, the more I use that to trap it over and under. If you really want to readjust, tap and squeeze, and then to flip him over, I usually grab the shoulder and just stay here. Use my knees to wedge. See, goes my top side triangle. If you have shorter legs, let's go a little bit. If you have shorter legs or your partner is massive, you can just lock here and put your foot on the inside, just so you curl down on that hip. So if he starts turning or moving, that hip is kind of stuck, you see? Now this is the shorter leg version. I luckily have pretty long legs. You can just finish it here. I thought that maybe that's a good detail for the stronky boys out there. Quick shout out to X Marshall. Bigger shout out to you. Thanks for watching. Huge shout out if you comment on the video. Super thanks. Drop, become a member. Subscribe to our OnlyFans. See you in the next one. Peace.